And so I said, well, I made the MDMA. And so sure, I could do it as a simple synthesis.
Hmm.
So I worked again with the FDA people and made it for him.
Hmm.
And then he did a study with the DMT.
Well, so, this is 84, 85. Obviously, people like you knew what DMT was. DMT was known to specialists, at least at this time, but I don't think it was very wide. Like, beyond that, it was probably pretty unheard of. So, did Rick already know about DMT, and why was it that he used DMT? Why wasn't he keen on doing psilocybin or some other drug?
He had developed the hypothesis that endogenous DMT that DMT was produced endogenously. He still has promoted that idea that it's produced endogenously and might be related to the symptoms of schizophrenia.
Mm.
And so the Scottish Rite Foundation, who I believe provides some of his funding, they were set up to fund research in schizophrenia. So that was his initial idea was if it produces schizophrenia, maybe if we just give it intravenously. And there had been some earlier papers showing that it was psychoactive. So he had said, well, let's give it and see what it looks like. What are the symptoms? Does it look like schizophrenia? Whatever. So I think that was the motivation for working with DMT, the idea he had that it was an endogenous psychotogen.
And so when did he actually do those studies, and what are the cliff notes in terms of what he found and what he measured?
Well, he published a couple of papers in Archives of General Psychiatry, I believe, in the early 93, 94, something like that. And in addition to seeing modest increases in blood pressure and heart rate, the people at the higher doses saw these aliens. You may have heard about all this. And so he wrote a book called DMT, the Spirit Molecule, where these people had discussed, when they took these high doses of DMT, they were transported to an alien landscape and they saw these alien beings and creatures, DMT elves, whatever. And Terence McKenna had talked about this. Terence McKenna, of course, was an early smoker of DMT and had talked a lot about the DMT elves and the DMT entities, etc. But Strassman, as far as I know, was really interested more in the possibility that DMT could be produced in people with schizophrenia and mental illness, and that was producing the symptoms.
Hmm. And so this idea, I mean, it's a very intriguing idea.